Welcome. Thank you for joining us today for this important session, why your food shipment will be stopped at the Canadian border. I am Sue, lead business strategy and operations at AgriAssure, and over the next 15 minutes, we will show you what really happens at the border and how you can avoid the most common and costly mistakes. So let's get started. So what we will cover today. Why food shipments actually get stopped, real enforcement cases from CFIA and CBSA, what border agents are really checking for, how to assess your importer's compliance, what to fix before you ship, and how AgriAssure can help you stay export ready. Top reasons why shipments get stopped. Many exporters assume that if the product is high quality, it will automatically be accepted. That's simply not true. Most border holds and rejections happen because of preventable compliance issues. Some of the most common ones include missing or invalid SFCR license, labels that don't meet Canadian standards, for example, no French language or missing allergen info, incomplete or inconsistent documentation, relying on importers who aren't registered or licensed, and failing to submit a CFIA prior notice before the product arrives. These are not gray areas. They are black and white reasons for your product to be detained or even destroyed. Before we dive into real enforcement cases, let's do a quick poll. So the poll question should be up on your screen. I'll give you a few seconds to respond before I move on. All right, quite interesting. I see 50-50 response to this question. Now moving on to our next slide. Real CFIA and CBSA enforcement examples. Let's look at a few real examples we have seen. The first case is about a US-based snack company that had a full container destroyed at the port. Why? Because their Canadian importer wasn't licensed under the Safe Food for Canadians regulations. Product quality didn't matter. CFIA ordered it, destroyed. Case 2. A spice shipment from Asia was flagged for inspection. Turned out the declared country of origin was incorrect. It sat in storage for 6 weeks, incurring heavy demurrage before it was returned. Case 3. A European sauce brand didn't include French on the label. This happens all the time. Without bilingual labeling, it doesn't matter how well your product performs in other markets. It will simply not be allowed in. These are not edge cases. These are weekly occurrences. What border authorities look for? Here's how CFIA and CBSA operate. CBSA focuses on border control. They look at customs declarations, HS codes, and origin, and they flag inconsistencies or suspicious shipments. CFIA is focused on food safety and compliance. They want to see that your product has a valid SFCR license under the correct commodity group. They review labels for language, ingredients, shelf life, allergens, etc. And most importantly, they require a prior notice before your product even arrives. If any of these pieces are missing, the shipment is at risk. So, is your importer actually compliant? This is a blind spot for many exporters. The importer. Ask yourself, is your importer licensed under SFCR for the product type you are sending? Are they registered in My CFIA and able to submit prior notice? If you're shipping fresh produce, are they part of the DRC? Many rejected shipments were actually compliant on the exporter side, but failed because the importer wasn't. So don't assume your importer has it covered. Verify it. Let's pause again for a quick poll before we talk about pre-shipment fixes. Your poll question will be up on the screen in a few seconds. Interesting. Looks like all of you are not so sure, which means you all need AgriAssure. So next we'll talk about what to fix before your shipment leaves port. Here's your pre-export checklist, the things you want to confirm before your shipment ever leaves the port. Make sure your importer has a valid SFCR license. Review your product labels to ensure they meet Canadian standards. Submit a CFIA prior notice through My CFIA portal. Ensure packaging complies with the shelf life and allergen declaration rules. Double-check your HS code and documentation with your broker. Fixing this now is much cheaper than fixing them after your product is held at the port. Tools and next steps to stay export ready. At AgriAssure, we help exporters like you stay one step ahead of compliance issues. We offer label reviews for CFIA compliance, importer vetting services, mock audits and documentation reviews, and full regulatory support for entering the Canadian market. Whether you are new to Canada or scaling your exports, we can help you avoid surprises. So if you're exporting to Canada or planning to, don't leave it to chance. Reach out to us for a free 15-minute consultation at agriassure.com. And don't forget to register for our upcoming sessions where we go deeper into documentation and labeling best practices. Please follow us on LinkedIn to stay updated about the upcoming webinars. And with this, our webinar for today ends. And now I can open the floor for question and answers. Thank you so much for being here.
For food and agriculture businesses, compliance is more than a requirement. It's the key to success. But navigating Canada's complex regulations can be overwhelming, non-compliance, and result in penalties, fines, and reputational damage. Introducing AgriAssure, your AI-powered compliance partner. Simplify approvals for importing food and agriculture products to Canada or launching locally. AgriAssure automates compliance assessments, evaluating your products in minutes. It flags risks, outlines label requirements, permits, and tests needed. Need guidance? AgriAssure gives you step-by-step instructions to meet CFIA and Health Canada standards with a compliance score and gap analysis. Achieve a 100% compliance score with expert help, templates, and document tracking to ensure you're audit ready. Need more help? Book a call directly with a food safety expert through AgriAssure for tailored guidance. Accelerate approvals, reduce costs, and confidently enter the Canadian market. Get compliant, get approved, get selling. Try AgriAssure today.